Welcome, friends and foes, survivors and killers. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because the David Law video I'm working on at the moment is taking a bit longer than I expected. Scripting is hard and I want to make sure I get this one right. So I thought in the meantime, what would be fun to do is I decided to talk to the other twins main left on planet Earth, Lynxi, to discuss the upcoming update to the twins that we're looking to see in the mid-chapter for the anniversary. It got mentioned in the developer live stream last time one of those happened, I can't remember when it was. But twins are next on the docket to get an update now that Legion and Ghostface have had their turn. So we decided to talk about what we'd like to see and what issues we hope the rework will address. So do go check Lynxi out on Twitch. She's an absolutely wonderful creator and a lovely person. Could not have been more pleased to work with her today. So do enjoy this video. And for you lore enthusiasts out there, don't worry, the David video is still in production and will be out very, very soon. So do be ready for that. Enjoy. Welcome everybody. This is I'm Pixel, as it's obvious, it's my bloody channel. But we're here today with Lynxi. So who is Lynxi? Let's find out.
Hi everybody, I'm Lynxi. If you don't know who I am a twins main. I have 5,000 over 5,000 hours in the game. I've been maining them over a year. I have the fastest 4K in the world record, and I like sniping people with Victor. They're really fun. I play them every day. Yeah,
fantastic. Hello. Well, one question I know that both ask this a hell of a lot, but why do you play them so much? What would drive you to such an act of self-destruction?
I know. Everyone else was like, how do you do it? How do you do it, Lynx? How do you stand to play this creature? Well, it was an accident, but they're just so fun, to put it like simply. They're just really fun, really engaging. Because to me, I keep track of everything, so it's just so much going on, so much stimulation, so much like engaging gameplay. But I'm sure you get that too. Well, yeah, they're just a lot of strategy, a lot more than just hit and then that's it and hook.
So let's get started with the actual meat of the video. Are there any misconceptions about the twins that you run into a lot that you feel like you feel like myths to bust? Any misconceptions you'd like to dispel about the twins?
There's a few, but I think the biggest one is slugging, right? Everyone just says, oh, you just slug to win. You can just slug. You win, you slug, right? But, I play at the highest MMR. It doesn't work like that. For starters, most people take Unbreakable. I go against at least one Unbreakable, normally two. So that's a big thing. People, you can slug to win if they're close together, but slugging's a lot of a win more situation. You need to already have some snowball. I think they're much more of a snowball machine than a slugging machine. You get what I mean? Yeah. Because they split so much pressure. Yeah.
And it's also worth saying, in the events where you are slugging, there's a good chance it's because you just can't pick the survivor up. It's not that even that you necessarily want to, it's that picking all that slugging is too easy because it's not. You're not like a Starstruck nurse or something. You don't use perks to help you slug. You can't slug from healthy. It's like, hey, you're slugging because you physically don't have time or space to pick up the survivor. What are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. I've had games where people say, oh, slugger. I'm like, I didn't even slug. Because the thing is, let's say I'm on Midwich, right? I down somebody across the map with Victor. I am switching. That's 8 seconds. I'm walking there. Miss Claudette comes out in front of me. I'm going to then chase her. So that results in that person being slugged even more. You know what I mean? And it's also, if I do go straight to them, 20 seconds, 30 seconds? It depends on the map. But like RPD, don't even get me started on RPD. But I think people go against twins and they don't see it from the twins' point of view.
Or it's like if you down somebody and then someone else is right next to them and doesn't kick. Like, what are you going to do? You're just going to go, I'll just switch back and let you kick Victor and pick up the survivor before I get there, just because you don't want to get slugged. Like, do you want me to open the gates for you while I'm at it? Do you want me to stand in the corner while you all heal up and do all the gens? Like, what do you want me to do?
No, exactly. Yeah.
Like, it's something that again, if you're playing against twins, you don't often see it. That choice of, what else am I supposed to do? And I think that's a survivor thing in general. If you don't play a lot of killer, or you play killer at a level where slugging just isn't happen because you can 12 hook effectively, then I think that's something that you maybe will miss. But with twins, you really have a consciousness of how many health states you have to chew through at any given time. And if you any way to cut that short, you do it. It's just how it goes.
Yeah, and you can't afford to waste time.
Oh, absolutely. Especially not in the meta right now. Not where healing and recovery is so fast. Like you've got to take what you can get.
Yeah, but
that's a sad reality.
No, definitely. But I think that's the biggest misconception. The only other one I would say is like people saying they're really boring. I don't know.
People made Legion in this game. People made Freddy. People made Clown. Like, come on.
I know. Like, maybe people think he's just a hatchet, but he's so much more now. We might go into that later.
Oh,
like,
hopefully, well, we shall see how it goes. But no, I completely get it. You'll say, "Oh, twins are boring, no skill." Like, have you seen half of the killers in this game? They just walk at you until they get stunned by a pallet, and then they lose because they're playing on Gideon. Like, they're brilliant. But yeah,
I know.
We're kind of preaching to the choir here, most likely, because a lot of Twins enjoyers do happen to lurk on my channel. But let's talk about something a little more pressing.
Okay.
Twins are not known for being a killer devoid of problems, let's put it that way. So, what would you say? What's a diagnosis, Dr. Lynxi? What's a diagnosis of what's wrong with Twins right now? Why are they such a problem child right now?
I mean, there's so much. I mean, to be honest, they fixed a lot of issues, but there's still some that they've created. They fix them and then they make more.
Welcome to behaviour.
Yeah, exactly. The biggest one is obviously the switching time, like especially with exponential, power struggle, circle of healing. There shouldn't be a perk in the game where you get countered for using your power. Can you imagine Huntress throwing a hatchet and she can't pick that person up for 8 seconds? That's definitely the biggest one. Is the switching time, which I'm sure most people are aware of. There's also, I'll say, there's two others as well. There's the if you leave Victor out, if you do one mistake, you put Victor in one bad spot, you have to wait 90 seconds. Or you go to him and have to manually kill him, and that's not always that simple. So those are definitely the biggest one. Also, like, yeah, they just don't feel very good. Like, Victor dies on the stairs. Do you have that too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Stairs, slopes, bits of floor sometimes. Like, have you ever tried to pounce behind a Z-War on, like, Autohaven maps where there's that rubble pile at the back of the map? You pounce on that, you hit nothing, and you just die. Like, I have been outplayed. I have clearly made a blunder here by pouncing on the ground, landing up on the ground.
And it's even
Classic
worse,
blunder. Damn. Should have just outskilled map topography.
I know. And the problem is you get stuck in the ground, or you, like,
Oh my god,
and they come and
yesterday.
kick you.
If you're watching my... I'll probably put a clip of the stream up right now. When I played on Badham yesterday, I unbound and got stuck in the stairs. Up to my... Like Release Twins. Release Twins had that bug where they got stuck in the floor. I had that yesterday on Badham stairs in the preschool. And that just happens sometimes usually on stairs. But Victor hates stairs. He doesn't like them. It makes.
Do you remember the blood? Do you have the blood on the stairs?
Oh my god, yes, the blood trail problem, where the blood just on the stairs. Even if they're hemorrhage, they're bleeding out, like bleeding everywhere from hemorrhage or whatever, and it just stops as soon as you get to a flight of stairs or thick grass or anything. So it's just okay, great. My method of tracking has just turned off completely. That's nice. Yeah, I really feel a lot of those problems. I think the overarching way I would describe most of the Twins' problems is they're too bad at picking survivors up, and it's just that simple. Yeah, like it makes them feel like shit. It makes them too vulnerable to recovery perks, unbreakable, circle of healing, exponential, and especially flip-flop power struggle. Holy shit, I cannot even.
I know.
If you've never had to play Twins against flip-flop power struggle, count yourself very lucky, because you had to because a survivor can just stand under a pallet teabagging Victor, go like, come on, and even if Charlotte is touching the survivor when they go down, you don't have time to pick them up, because they'll recover to that threshold, that 15% threshold to go from power struggle, which is 30% of your recovery progress. This 15% wiggle progress because of flip-flop means that if you pick them up, they will power struggle you 100% of the time, no matter how close you are. That is indicative of how bad the problem is. That could be if you M1. Imagine if you M1 someone and power struggle was up by the time you could wipe your weapon and pick them up. It's like that. It's that bad.
No, it is bad.
It's a catastrophe. It makes them feel bad. Makes them too reliant on slugging against a lot of teams who are efficient on gens, and it also makes them too weak to recovery perks. And that's one issue. Them being bad at picking up, causing all these little problems. And then you've got to take into account the bugs and the hit collision, like you said, on stairs. And this is an issue that I find. I don't know how you feel about it, but Victor being left under hooks when someone's on top of him, it's not even necessarily a powerful thing for the twins to do. It's just irritating because then he's not with Charlotte for the next chase, and the survivor has to deal with him kind of camping. And you have to manually get rid of him, and it's such a faff. It just makes the game better for exactly nobody. And it's something that, frankly, I'm amazed it went out of the PTB, because that's the kind of thing that people noticed day one on the Twins PTB on their release and hasn't been changed to this day. I don't understand it. But I'd say those are the big three problems right now, are bug-related everything, to do with collision or whatnot, picking up problems, and camping. That's what I would say. Do you want to add anything to that, or do you think that's covers everything?
Okay. The only other thing I have written down is breakable walls. But obviously you can't stuff spoons as well, but breakable walls are very frustrating. Mainly on Midwich, but I guess it's more of like a pet peeve, like a little.
Yeah, I feel that. For me, that one place is the dead dog room, the dead dog funny room, because if they vault that window, all the doors are blocked. You can't get them out. you can't get them out. They're just stuck in there now, and you can't go in because you you pounce through the window, they'll hop in and kick you.
Yeah, I'll like down them and it's just so slow. Yeah. Like they just need to make them a bit faster. They're just very slow. Get countered by way too much. It's pretty.
Twins, for those who don't know, are getting updated in the mid-chapter. It's supposed to be in the mid-chapter after this one. So we'll have the anniversary chapter going live probably early to mid-June. And then mid-chapter after that will be the next big update, which will be to the Twins. Thank God we've needed it. But, because the question, what are they going to do? So, Lynxi, what do you think is the bare minimum that behaviour could do to fix the problems with the Twins right now?
I said bare minimum. There's a lot.
The minimum. What would be the absolute least they could do that you go, that's good enough, I'm satisfied? What's the least they could do?
For starters, they need to let you instant switch you down. That is my biggest ask of anything, because that fixes power struggle. That fixes slugging in general, because then you can just go. You know? Would you agree? Like, just... Yeah. So, if you're down with Victor, just let me switch. Maybe make it a 10-second, 20-second that you can't switch back. So, if I do a mistake of instant switching, then you can kick him. Because I don't think you should instant switch and immediately switch back to Victor. That would be a bit too, you know.
There's not a situation where survivors run up to try and get the kick, but you switch back when they're like half animation or something, and you just go, ha! You thought you could kick me. That's funny, now die.
Yeah. But if they...
window to outplay, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
talking game design language.
There's definitely times where I've wanted to instant switch, and then I'm like, oh, and there's someone there, and then I wouldn't have wanted to. You get what I mean? Like, I'm slugging, I'm waiting for the 5 seconds, and someone comes up. I'm like, oh, but say instant switch, then it would have countered that. So I think that would be nice. That's the biggest one. You should definitely, if you leave Victor out, kill him. Maybe even M1. Say, like, have you ever body blocked yourself with Victor?
Yes, I have. Especially on new maps, because they have quite tight corridors or, like, drop downs.
Yeah. Let me smack him. Smack him like a zombie. Let me kill him with that. Maybe just, like, you have a button where you can just kill him. I don't know. Yeah. So they need to sort that out, because you shouldn't have to wait 90 seconds until he comes back.
Okay, so that's something I actually noticed about this is it helps solve map-related problems, because there's a few places, even today, where if Victor gets there, he just gets stuck. So you have to wait a minute and a half to get him back, just because of map design problems. Like, again, a clip's going to go on screen now of me playing on Chapel, and I missed a pounce, and that took me behind a chest in a little there's little walls, there's the two walls in the chest. Mm-hmm. I got stuck behind that chest and could not move because I couldn't pounce out from behind the chest and couldn't get over the walls. So I just lost my power for almost 2 minutes because I couldn't get it down from behind the chest. And that would be like some sort of recall mechanism, would be a great fail-safe to protect against things like that happening in the future. No, but if you get stuck in terrain again, or if you get stuck behind something, some way to go, no, I'm going to reset and have him back now, would be, I think, a very healthy thing for the future. Even if it's not a powerful thing for balance, which it probably still would be, just make it just fail-safe for the future, like breaking zombies for Nemesis.
It's just a quality of life thing, you know. It doesn't. You can make it so you can't do it for 20 seconds. If you do mess up, you can't immediately just get him back. But right now, you have to wait 90 seconds, or I go manually on him and manually kill him, and that's not always that easy to do.
Gonna waste even more time.
But yeah, that's another thing. I would say the last thing. Wait, let me find it. Where did I put it? Yeah. So the instant switch when downing, killing him. Yeah, maybe make toy sword base kit. I've actually thought about it. What do you think about this? Do you think that would be that bad?
I think in general, twins need an big add-on update.
Yeah.
Generally, because for those who aren't aware, twins have about 5 good add-ons, and the rest are actual dog water. Like toy sword, fingernail. I know Lynxi likes fingernail a bit more than I do, but fingernail's a very good add-on as well. Speed, silencing cloth, and against lobbies with lots of medkits, spinning top. That's all you've got. Everything else is either good for a funny little meme build, like iridescent pendant or something, or like, and that's the best case scenario, and they're just like kind of not very effective, but still kind of funny and a bit goofy. Maybe you run them for a joke, but you won't act them in an actual game hoping to win with it. That's the best case scenario. And the worst case is this item is actively detrimental. Like Sewer Sludge or the cat figurine that just go, hey, this makes everything more awkward for exactly you and nobody else. And Toy Sword being base kit, I don't know. I think it would depend on how good the rest of the twins add-ons were. But I think maybe if it was 0.85 seconds rather than 0.8, maybe that I could see that being base kit, and then give them a load of other add-ons to compensate. But I think any situation which means they have one add-on slot basically spoken for. I think any add-on that basically has to be played for the killer to be half decent, I think should be base kit, and I think Toy Sword's no exception to that. Like
and like demo.
Trapper got
demo.
Trapper as well. Trapper got the bag base kit.
And
it gave them a lot more creations of what they can do with their add-ons. And I could absolutely see twins getting Toy Sword base kit. I think that would be a very fair, reasonable thing to do.
Yeah, and they could always nerf other elements of it. We could talk about it later.
I'm get into that. But spoilers for the rest of the video, I guess.
Toy Sword base kit. It just because right now, I actually played some games today with no Toy Sword. Oh, it's awful because you go around a little loop, makes it so much harder to get over pallets.
Yeah, you chase a tree or a bin or a fire barrel. And you just get completely shit on by the power of
it makes it so much harder, and if they make it base kit, I got all these add-ons that will hopefully be half decent if they rework them. It's just that they rework all the add-ons, if Toy Sword is the same, I'm still going to take Toy Sword because it just makes such a big difference. So it would make them be able to actually take 2 add-ons, but I'm sure they'll see that.
Yeah,
they'll see 90%.
I hope so, but what we're pretty careful of when this whole add-on changes is that they don't even attempt to go near, do not buff the OP add-on Stale Biscuit. That is the one thing to be careful with. They can't buff Stale Biscuit. It's overpowered. It's criminally overpowered, and only abused by higher amount monsters. Which fortunately we are not, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's true.
So I'm kind of in a similar boat to you. I think in some way reducing the amount of time between a down and a hook is the best thing they can do. And I think that I hope will be the core of the update in terms of the base kit. Beyond that, Toy Sword being base kit, I'm ignoring about. Maybe it depends how good their other add-ons are. But I could absolutely see it. Also, I think the anti-camping system needs to be improved. Again, Victor being under hooks is something that again should have made it out of the PTB. And so Victor's under a hook. Someone who's hooked off of him, he should respawn on Charlotte immediately. I feel that would be a very healthy thing to do. And especially with basement, because I've noticed you can idle with Charlotte on the basement stairs sometimes. Like if you hooked her on the basement, and then you put Charlotte on the little platform, the square at the top, on the top of the bottom of basement stairs, where there's the little stairs, square, big stairs. Sometimes Charlotte can sit on the little square. You can sit her there, and you can put her about 5 meters from the hook, because because of the verticality, it pushes you just outside the basement's checking area. So special rules for using the power in basement would probably be quite good, I think.
Yeah, no, they could, and the thing is, if they get rid of Camping Victor, they can then buff other things.
Absolutely, without a doubt, because that's a big irritation point. The twins just out the way.
Yeah, a lot of people hate that. Oh, I hate Victor under the hook. I hate being slugged.
Yeah, the whole slugging thing is a bit harder to avoid because that's consequences of survivors playing badly a lot of the time. But camping is definitely something that could be very easily addressed, and honestly should have been a while ago, if you ask me at least. Well, so that's the bare minimum. This is the stuff that would be amazed if they didn't fix. But what about something a bit crazier? Is there anything perhaps a bit more eclectic, something that maybe a new unique mechanic or a big change to an old one that you would like to see, or that you consider as a possibility for a Twins update? Anything?
Well,
Just open the Pandora's box of weirdness and show us whatever's within.
Well, you remember when they changed Doctor, they gave him like a brand new ability?
Yeah,
you
it's such a
know?
blast.
They could make it so the ability to make Charlotte and Victor swap places. Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be a really great solution to the whole Victor's too far away problem as well.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you just go, oh, they're miles away. Let's just switch and get the pick up immediately.
Yeah, exactly. It has to have some fantasy, because that could be OP.
That could be disgusting, yeah. Like,
really
hey,
strong.
down you and instantly pick you up. Yeah, sure, why not?
But it would be really cool. Imagine it was a 60 minute... 60 minutes. 60
Yeah, once per hour.
What?
Maybe if you run Dying Light, Thanatophobia, Call of Brine on, like, Dead Dog, and set on a 3-gen, you might be able to use it more than once in a match if you're lucky. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, maybe
Dry
like...
kick comp twins on Dead Dog. Maybe you're going to off more than once.
No, they could definitely make it like a minute cooldown.
Yeah,
I don't know.
maybe.
Do you know how long the Doctor one is?
It's a minute. Doctor Sunglasses in it.
Yeah, okay. A minute could be good. Just so it just makes them even more like excited. It just has like a little crazy thing.
Yeah, because that is something that is worth noting, is both on Victor's, when you're controlling both Charlotte and Victor, either or, they both have at least one missing button. Charlotte doesn't have a control when she's got Victor attached, doesn't have a right click when Victor's away, and Victor doesn't have an M1 at all.
Yeah.
So there's something that there are buttons free where you could pack stuff on if you wanted to. And
yeah, they could definitely have that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else sufficiently crazy that you'd be interested in thinking about?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well,
Obviously, from my ideas, but
okay. What about like? Okay. You know how they did with Legion, right? With that token thing.
Yeah.
Imagine if you got like 10 Victor downs and the next one like instant downs.
That would be interesting, but I think we also the question of with Legion it works because you can quite easily see who's been stabbed because of the deep wound bar. You'll say, oh yeah, well, he's got 1 stab, he's got 2 stabs because of the deep wounds.
Yeah.
With Victor, that's kind of harder to do because it's less clear when you're going down. If that makes sense.
Oh no! Yeah, no! It's basically it's like an
add-on. Oh, like BFFs, like BFFs.
Yes.
I thought you meant like the chain stab thing, and I was like, what?
No.
Like BFFs. Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So say like if you get a certain amount of Victor down, something crazy happens to Victor. He gets really fast, or he can instant down for a bit, or I don't know.
That'd be really interesting.
Really cool.
Because again, twins add-ons not good. That would be a really sweet like purple add-on or eerie add-on design. Be like, hey, just
like a little fun thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, BFF is a very popular add-on. A lot of people really like it, and I think that add-on design being applied to more add-ons in the future would be a great thing. I'd really like to see that.
No, yeah, they could do so much with twins.
Yeah.
Like I have another note here. Like they could make it so if you down far away enough with Victor, he like instant downs as well. Like say, you know, like what I do, like on balconies.
Yeah. So like an iridescent coin type thing. A death signal.
Maybe. Oh yeah. Sorry, I'm thinking of the pendant. But the coin. Save you. I don't know. Do you know what Victor's max range is? I actually don't know.
It's weird because of the fact that he goes weirdly on terrain, and you have vertical control. It's about 10-11 meters.
Okay.
But but it isn't like a hard because it's not a death thing. Or a death thing has a fixed max range. Victor doesn't because he'll just keep going until he hits the floor. That can depend on terrain and verticality and everything.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So it doesn't work on flat ground. That's the biggest thing. They made an add-on like that. Make sure it doesn't work on flat ground. But if you are higher up and you get a really long shot, that could be something cool.
Oh, absolutely.
Like range add-ons for Victor.
That would be really interesting. I don't know how that would work, but that'd be a really cool idea. Like you just go further. Because they haven't had many range add-ons out there. They've had Pyramid Head's got them, and there's only good add-ons as well. Because his add-ons are dog water. They're so bad.
They're really
but like,
bad.
Nemesis changes mid-match for some reason. They're trying to think something for tier 3 to do. Who else has different ranges? Like Huntress has different flight speeds. But
Destiny doesn't. Does he know?
No, he doesn't have extra range, which is strange. Because he thought that's the kind of thing that they'd give him, but no. That'd be a really interesting niche. A very interesting niche to give to twins would be let Victor just go further with a pounce. That would be really interesting idea for an add-on. I like the sound of that quite a lot.
Yeah, because what I do, I don't know if you do this. I use him to get like shortcuts. Imagine like the shortcuts you could do. Like I don't know. It would just add because Twins interesting as it is, it would just add like so much more.
I'm going to
them.
jump off Erie main building and land in Shack, and you're not going to stop me.
I don't know, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
But do you have any like crazy ideas? That's kind of the ones I have written down.
Yeah.
But there's so much.
I've got a couple, and
Okay.
I think one thing that would be quite a popular change would be changing how Victor is in the 1v1, because a lot of people don't like the fact that Victor in a 1v1 scenario, assuming your teammates don't come and kick or anything or take hits or whatever, he's going to down you in almost every situation. Like, except unless you hold W to a locker or you have like dead hard validation or something like that. It's on the Twins to mess up and not down you. I think that's a common point of irritation. I think people like that he's so fast. So one thing I'm thinking about would be to maybe reduce the reliance on like having a coordinated team to group up for kicks or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe reduce the window of being kicked after a successful hit. Obviously, that's something we want to happen anyway. But in general, making them less vulnerable to a coordinated team as a trade-off for making him slower. Maybe making him 130, which is the speed of Legion in Feral Frenzy.
Yeah.
I think yeah. Because
I think that would suit better as an add-on, because that would be a very big change. But
we're talking about crazy changes. It's like
it's true.
It's true. I think making Twins slower, making Victor slower, making him more loopable, quote unquote, or at least let them waste a bit more time. Mm-hmm. At the cost of making the Twins better in the 1v4, because that's where their issue lies. Is they're 1v1. If you're injured and Victor's on your tail, he's gonna down you almost every time, because they can play almost every time, especially with speed hounds. But I think making him a bit slower might make them feel a bit fairer. It would always make them significantly weaker, but that's where you can buff them in other areas. I think that might be something they might want to do if they want to make the experience of playing against Twins feel a little bit better. Make Victor slower, make him more loopable.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I want to talk about that I think would be a really great trade-off making him slower would be, before Resident Evil came out, Twins had a lot of bugs that benefited them. So obviously they have a lot of bugs that don't, like dead hard validation and that sort of stuff. But they had a few bugs that actually made playing them a lot more fun. One of them involved Victor being able to jump on top of surfaces and run along like walls. Like on Temple of Purgation, for example. You know those white walls on Temple? Those like long but often quite low white walls have pallet, like they're like pallet wall, or the log loops on Swamp or Red Forest, the wire walls on Macmillan, the gas bottles on Coldwood maps. All of those for a long time were coded so that Victor could jump on top of them and not just not die, but stay there. And run around and chase survivors using verticality as an advantage. I might have some clips of it that I'll be playing when I talk about this. But it was that, and something I used to call Victor boozling, where you would shoot Victor into a window, hit the window frame side on, and stay in it to block the vault. Because Victor would be stuck in the vault. You could kick him up there, obviously, but you would be getting up power basically to block a god window. So these, potentially, if they made Victor less oppressive in chase, could be things to bring back as actual intended features. Give them a bit more depth in chase, like even beyond what they've already got. So that a low loop becomes a nightmare, because then suddenly we're just running along the top of it. So you're at the survivor's eye level. It was that play, like that's before Resident Evil came. They changed the way that tile hitboxes worked because of Nemesis. But it like that playing Twins back then and doing those like hopping on top of stuff or hiding him in high places was actually really fun. I think the highest I got him was on top of the big gold spire in Temple of Purgation, in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
I got on top of that.
No way.
Yeah, because
you gotta find a clip. Do you have a clip?
If I can find one, I'll be putting it on screen right now. But you could get him on top of the boat on Pale Rose. You get him up there. It was really fun. I really do miss that. It was like a Space Victor type thing, like Space Billy. I think bringing that back as an intended mechanic, so that you can use these ledges or these windows as like literal jumping off points, would be a really sweet thing to bring back. It would make it interact with terrain in a whole different way. Like killers interact with terrain in interesting ways tend to be quite popular, like Blight, for example. So I think Victor being able to do that would make Twins feel a lot better to play, and would give them some room to have power taken away in other areas. Maybe reduce their oppressiveness to give them more flexibility. I think
Yeah,
that would
and
be
only
healthy.
experienced players can do that too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because that's something that not many people knew about at the time. It was something that I was talking about on my channel, but no one else was really talking about it. And I always people occasionally ask this day, how did you do that? How did you hop in this window? How did you hop on top of those ledges? And I was like, it's gone now. They got rid of it. But bringing that back would be so much fun, and I do miss doing it.
No, it was really, really fun. Really quick, that reminds me of something that they actually changed. Do you remember Play Your Food?
Yes,
You know,
I do.
yes,
I remember playing the food
yeah.
on Twins.
So people who know, who don't know, right now, if you go on the Obsession of Charlotte, you get Victor out, Charlotte will get a stack. But if Victor jumps, he will consume the stack. It's the same with Trail Torment. Trail Torment used to also work. But now Victor consumes it, but he never used to, so you could just,
You collect stacks and use Victor to preserve your stacks.
Yeah, exactly, or gain stacks, because you would escape the chase because
Because you switched, yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing I'd actually thought about briefly, was giving Victor some sort of chase-like event. Because right now, Victor breaks chase immediately and doesn't have a chase. Like, no chase theme plays, and importantly, neither the survivor nor the killer gets chase points. And that's something I know a lot of people really don't like.
Yeah.
Because half a chase, if not more, because you're looking to get them when they're injured, you won't get points for the chases, because Victor will just get you. So I think giving Victor a pseudo-chase event, maybe call it like a pursuit or something, where he gets his own chase music, he gets his own, like, no entity blocker, he doesn't need that. His chase is already good enough, he doesn't need an entity blocker. But give him, no blood loss obviously, but something to give both sides points for being in chase with Victor would be, I think, would be a good way to make Twins better to play against, in a way that wouldn't even really change the gameplay. It would just be something that you get to do, like a pseudo chase event to get some chaser points.
Yeah,
it would be nice, you know. It wouldn't be a cost of anything.
No, exactly, and that's like how deep Twins could go. You could even, I had a situation that I actually went against the Twins, and Victor came, and bad him in the House of Pain underneath.
Yeah.
I did not hear him at all. He came down, I did not hear him at all. So I figure you could make him a bit louder, like, right now, if you crouch in his killer instinct, he won't hear you, but it's actually really hard, because as soon as you hear him, then you're in the killer instinct. Maybe they can make it a little bit wider, just like a tad, just so you get a bit of warning. Do you get what I mean?
I can see that. There's something worth remembering though about that, is that there is a 2-second grace period between where once you can hear Victor's shriek radius, if you're like running in it, you have 2 seconds before you get picked up on killer instinct. You have a 2-second period.
Really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it says a lot of people just don't know about that. Because no one has ever crouched near Victor ever anyway, so you usually just hear them in any case. But there is a 2-second window before you get heard. Maybe they could make that a bit longer. Maybe they could make the audio cue a bit louder. But kind of sits on the problem of DBD's audio in general is not very good. Like you don't hear Legion fatigue. You don't hear Bubba's chainsaw grabbing half the time. That would probably come as part of a general audio fix for Dead by Daylight, because it's kind of gotten worse and worse over time as more things have gotten added. Like not hearing his tentacle come up, things like that. Yeah. It's another one of those audio occlusion problems that DBD just has baked through the game like a stick of rock. So
no, I agree.
Yeah, so that was all the craziness out the way, all of our insane ideas. But here's one I'm interested to hear, because I'm sure we both have this, and I've actually seen in your chat this happens all the time. We'll both get suggestions from people who don't really play Twins. I get a lot on Twitter, you also get a lot in your chat. People who just don't seem to understand the killer they're talking about. This happens a lot, by the way, especially with content creators who just don't play the killer and just talk about ideas they've had. Spitballing. But what ideas would you think you've heard a lot, or that you think are particularly egregious, that you hear and think, no, that should never happen. Absolutely not. What is the craziest ideas that you hear a lot, or that you want to talk about, that you think, no, that must never happen? What are the no-go zones that you think we should be avoiding at all costs?
Okay, well, I remember this. I really distinctly remember this. This happened months ago on Twitter. Someone said, when Victor misses, he should have 5 seconds. Instead of, like, the hit being 5 seconds, every time he misses, 5 seconds. No! No. Oh, I'm sure you understand why, Pixel, but...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, no. For starters, if I want to game for distance, I have to wait 2 more seconds when I'm just trying to get over a rock or, just get some shortcut. Yeah. And if I miss, I lose. Like, I'm not allowed to miss at all. No, don't do that, please.
Yeah.
3 seconds is good. Like,
3 seconds
you get a bit of time. Yeah, no. So, not that. Well, that was one that really stuck in my mind. I've had some people say, like, well, okay. So there's quite actually few, but people say if Victor downs, he should die immediately. I'm like, no, what? Imagine every time he downs someone, he just dies. Like, no, that will make them. Oh my god, I can't even. Could you imagine people?
No, because a big thing about playing twins is capitalising on survivor mistakes. So if you down somebody, it's on the other survivors to kick you. Like, I'm sorry, but that's how it's supposed to go. They're supposed to make a good plate in order to turn your power off, and. There's so many times when you'll down somebody, a survivor, even in the 5 seconds, because for some reason they're picking their nose or they're checking Twitter during the game, I don't know, they don't kick Victor because in the several eons they have to do so, then you attach to them and stop them getting the pickup. Like, that's them making you making a good player by downing them, them making a bad player by not kicking, so you're capitalising on that by stopping them getting the pickup. Like, and making that process automatic, of making their counterplay automatic, just seems kind of... It's cheap, really. I think that's the best way to think about it. It's cheap. It would make playing twins feel pretty shit, especially on a killer who just wastes a lot of time picking up. You need to have the opportunity to snowball. So I'm going to stop you doing it. I fully agree. I think that's an awful idea. Yeah,
and the thing is, right now, I have talked about this a lot. I'm really worried about the rework. I'm not so worried now because of Ghostface and Legion. But. They are reworking twins for twins players. They can't rework them for Survive. Look at Death Singer. They changed Death Singer for Survive. No one plays him. So
rip Death Singer.
Yeah, I know.
Yeehaw in heaven, sir. Yeehaw in heaven.
No, but they really got to think of the twins players. I have some others here. I think just on to the rework really quick. 2 ways they can ruin twins. This is the biggest things that will ruin twins.
These are the deal breakers.
Yeah, I think everything else will be fine, but this is the deal base. 1, Victor cannot down people anymore. If they make him Legion 2.0, no, I'm not playing them anymore.
Especially because the fun part is Legion can down people now, which is the funny part. No, Legion can do
old
it.
Legion, old Legion.
Old Legion, yeah.
Yeah, so they make it so Victor can no longer snowball down people. Nah, they're gone. Second one, if they make Victor limited time use. So you can only use Victor for 30 seconds. And
so basically, don't make them Legion and don't make them Oni. Is what we're talking about here. Don't make them Legion or Oni. Unfortunately,
they don't do that.
Yeah, fortunately, Legion and Oni do already exist. So fingers crossed.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. But as long as they keep the snowball in, that it should be okay. As long as they don't do that, just don't make him limited time use, because that's the fun of twins as well. Planning when my Victor is. My Victor's gonna be there. I can. Switch into that person, switch to Victor, cut that person off. That's so fun, but they take that away. I love this killer, and I really don't want to quit them, but that will make me quit them. I'm not going to play a Legion 2.0, old Legion 2.0. I'm not going to play, even like Trickster, I just have a strong ability for a bit of time. So that's the biggest ones. But as long as they don't do that, I think they'll be okay. I hope.
Yeah, I really do hope so. We are kind of like one finger on the monkey's paw curls. It's going to be like, hey, here's a rework that turns him into Freddy.
I really hope they don't do like a.
You enter the Victor world, and now you have to avoid the Victor snares and the Victor. No.
Or Victor AI. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh my God, no! Do not. Oh, that haunts my nightmares. That scares that haunts my nightmares. That idea. No. Because for those of you who aren't aware, DBD leaks about maybe early. It must have been what?
6 months ago?
Yeah, it was a good 6 months ago. It was when they updated the add-on texts. A couple of twin add-ons got reworded. They didn't change the effects. They just got reworded slightly. And people thought, this is a twins rework coming, and it's going to have Victor and AI. And I was like, I think you're wrong, but God help you if you're right. And thank God they were wrong. It was just a translation error on Behaviour's part, because obviously they're a native French-Canadian company. English is not the first language, a lot of their writers. But... yeah, if they turn Victor into an AI and make him a glorified nemesis zombie, I'm sorry, there will be blood. There will be blood and fire and violence, and I'm going to be a pinhead, mate.
0.0 0.01% play rate.
Yeah.
Like, no, even we we're like, no, we're done.
Because at the end of the day, we want to play twins, and I hope that's something Behaviour remembers, because the worst thing that a rework can do, is to turn the killer into something completely different, unless they absolutely have to. And you see, all the best reworks in this game have been adjustments. They've been quality. They've been polishing the killer up. Doctor was really good. Bubba rework was amazing. Legion, really good rework. Even Ghostfaces is alright. But the worst ones were the ones where they just throw the killer away and start again. And Freddy, need I say more? Like, Freddy is what they did to old Freddy was they deleted him and replaced him with Sneaky Clown. And I hope twins don't get that. And I worry that because twins are so unpopular, they're so underplayed and so maligned by a lot of people, I worry they are going to get Freddied. And that is what scares me. But I think... carry on.
Sorry.
No, you're coming in with the butt. Go on.
Yeah, okay. The only thing is why I don't think they'll do that. There's two reasons. Money and they're strong, pretty much. Because they don't need to be a nuclear because they are strong. They just feel like crap. You know, they feel bad. And it's a lot of money to completely, like, time and money to rework something that's not weak. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, especially because twins were a resource-intensive heavy killer to begin with. Like, they put a lot of work into twins. Like, people saying they were half finished, it wasn't because they were lazy. It's because twins were a massive amount of work to make. So I don't think they're going to throw all that away.
Yeah.
I think they're going to throw all that away. So I really hope they don't get Freddied, especially because the reaction to Freddy rework was so strong. Like, nowadays, who plays Freddy these days? No one.
Yeah.
Like, there are more people out there who want old Freddy to come back than enjoy and play new Freddy at this point. And I feel like twins are in a similar spot where the only thing that is a flight risk to them is how unpopular they are. But hopefully they'll fix that because they really need it.
Okay, this is not my theory, so I'm not going to steal it. One of my viewers came up with a really good theory. Why we're getting the twins tome now and not after the rework is for data. And I think that is so smart if that is true. Don't you agree? You get what I'm saying?
I'm not saying that isn't true because the tome will actually end with the new mid-chapter.
Really?
Because tomes go from mid-chapter to mid-chapter. So the twins tome will close as the rework comes out. I think it's too late. If this was the last tome, if the spot with the sword tome, which is what worries me a little bit, because I think the reason the twins tome now is because they're giving Victor new abilities.
Yeah.
I think because they're putting the challenges in for the old abilities before they get replaced. That's what worries me. That's what I'm more concerned about.
I don't think they will, though. I don't know. With Ghostface and Legion, I think they did really well, but they're taking such a big risk. As you said, they put so much work into twins. They're strong. They're quite popular in comp DVDs. It's all different, but they...
Sorry, I'm sorry, comp players watching this. I'm sorry that I just laughed at when Lynxi and comp DVD, but in my defense, it was really funny.
No,
sorry,
comp DVD... They do what they like, but it's not a representation of real DVD. Like Circle V and Unbreakable Dead Hard.
Hold on,
but the thing that gives me hope is money time. The reason they're reworking them is to make them more popular, and if they listen to the players, if they watch this video, they'll be like, okay, these people play twins. They play twins. They know what we're talking about. We have some experience with the killer. I really hope they're doing justice. I think they will. I think they're going to mess some things up, but I think they'll get the majority of it.
I think a big thing is twins have a solid identity. That is a big thing. Yeah. Because with Freddy, it was like, he could do whatever. He's a dream man. He's funny dream man with the funny hat. Like, they can do whatever they want with him. But with twins, they have a very solid mechanical identity that's tied very strongly to their lore. And the character design, it all works together. Like, you see Charlotte and Victor, you think, oh yeah, they're two people working together. And that's something that you can't really get rid of. Like, you can't give them a whole new power. You can't give Charlotte a chainsaw. That's not going to work. There's only so much they can change because their identity is so firmly ensconced in their character.
And they're strong. They're strong.
Although it is worth noting, they've not generally been very good when they have reworked strong killers. They haven't typically been very friendly to them. Spirit being the exception, but Freddy, they made Freddy ridiculously strong. Or actually, they thought they did, but he was just made them easy and give him overtuned add-ons. But generally, when they buff weaker killers, they're generally better at reworking weak killers, typically. Like Doctor, Legion, Bubba, those were terrible killers that they made significantly stronger. But when they talk about changing already strong killers like Pyramid Head, remember Pyramid Head? When they changed how his M2 worked and made it feel awful? Like, that worries me, because when they buff when they rework weak killers, it's to buff them. When they rework strong killers, we don't know what we're going to get. Because, again, we saw him the Pyramid Head, they made him feel terrible. We saw the Death Slinger, they made him feel terrible. But I don't think they even know how strong... I don't even know if they know how strong twins are.
No. And it's like, I've got so many hours in this game. I don't win every game. Like, if a team is good, they know how to counter me. I feel like with a perfect nurse or even a perfect blight, they're really, really hard to beat. But twins, you just need that teamwork and you need the right perks, and you can destroy twins if you have that teamwork. It's I don't know, but I think like I said, they're gonna do it mostly good. Because right now they have a very low kill rate overall. Or apparently higher than mild absolute monsters. No clue.
Well, that's us though, isn't it? That's just you and me. Who else is playing twins? But
our favourite killer nerf. But hopefully with the tome, maybe they'll get some data from the tome and look at that. I hope
perhaps,
so. At least the first month.
Yeah.
They, maybe not the whole duration, but that's the first one. They'll say, hey, most players are not doing well with this killer because they're hard to play. They're not an easy killer. Like with Freddy, was strong but really easy. Twins aren't easy. You miss, you get kicked. GG. Like, you can just lose from that.
Yeah.
And hopefully, with that in mind, they'll be like, okay, because, like, look at the nurse change. You get what I mean? The nurse change wasn't that bad. Like,
they kept her range add-ons for some reason.
I don't know. So I hope they look at that. Blight, no clue what's happening with Blight, but...
don't get me started on Blight. Do not get me started on Blight, because I'll be here for an hour.
Still Biscuit Alchemist Ring?
Yeah. We must nerf Stale Biscuit but make Adrenaline Vial top tier. That's definitely how it's supposed to be going.
I really hope they've learned from their mistakes. They look at the data. And I've said this before when I've talked on like a podcast. They need to, like, twins can be insane. They gotta make sure they don't make them too strong as well. There's also that side of it. So before we close off here, there was two things as well that they should not do, and that is instant switching to Charlotte all the time and making Victor unkickable. I've actually heard that before. Like, you know why switching back to Charlotte would be. I don't think people realise how strong that could be.
Yeah, you just go, cool, I'll AFK near this gen. And just grab you off of it if you try and work on it.
Yeah,
that sounds fair.
If you're on a loop, Victor's there, Charlotte's there, switch.
Yeah, long loop, you have died now, sir. Good night.
Yeah, no. So they gotta be careful, but if they buff everything, like even add that core, they could get rid of Cam and Victor, maybe make their cooldown a little bit longer. I don't want it too long because... Yeah, maybe 8 seconds, 10 seconds at most. I just don't want them to double it.
Yeah, double it would be a mistake.
Yeah, no. But I think 8 seconds would be good. 2 extra seconds, but for everything else.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see. It's, Ghostface and Legion, I'm less worried, but I'm going to have a stomach ache when I read those.
Oh, me too, without a doubt.
It is good.
Because the one thing I think I would be worth talking about is making it unkickable or accessible here. With Victor in his current state, where his chase is as good as it is, I agree that's absolutely off the table. There's no way that would be plausible. But I think if Victor's chase was a bit weaker, if him missing was something the Survivor had more control over, I think making him unkickable on a hit could work. And this is a very much like if in another world, in a world where Victor was slower, if his wind up took longer or whatever, if his chase. If the Survivor had more control during the chase, so that if you went down to him, you had definitely made a mistake somewhere, I feel like then not being able to kick him afterwards would make some amount of sense. Because then you've capitalised on his mistake. It's like a normal chase. There's a reality in which that could work. I don't think we're anywhere near that reality at the moment, though. So unless they make some big changes, I agree that's something that absolutely should be off the table. I agree. I agree on that at least.
Yeah. It's you gotta make them feel better to play. Change some numbers, and I think most players are asking for that. They're asking for quality of life. At the end of the day, they are changing twins for the players. No survivor is complaining about twins. Maybe that weird guy in the corner. I hate twins.
There's a few.
But no one plays against twins.
True,
like,
that is true.
They're so uncommon.
Yeah.
So I really hope that, and at the end of the day, they're reworking them to make them more popular, right? If they make them weak, why would anyone ever play them? I don't know. Like, why would you play them over something else? But we'll see.
That's what worries me, is whether they're reworking to make them popular to play or popular to play against. Because that's a very big difference. Like, Sadako is a popular killer to play against because she's dog shit. I'm sorry. Like, I love Sadako, I'm not calling her out here, but I get worried that there is this dichotomy going on of either this killer is meant to feel good to play, does not consider how it feels to play against, like say, Artist, for example. A killer I love, but I acknowledge that she's unhealthy as hell. Or the complete opposite, where a killer has so many, like, counterbalances and drawbacks and hoops to jump through, they become just impossible to play. But at the cost of feeling good to play against, and I worry that if they go too far either direction with twins, we've got a problem on our hands. And given Behaviour's recent history, I'm worried they're going to go for the latter. Because that's what they did to Pyramid, that's what they did to Sadako when they designed her. I worry twins are going to get that too. That does worry me. But again, that's not what... even Ghostface had that. Like, Ghostface is arguably weaker than he was before, because reveal is, like, really easy now. Revealing him is really easy to do. Arguably, he's weaker than he was before, because his reveal mechanic is just so kind of brain dead now.
But they didn't kill him, though. Like, he's still viable.
To be fair, Ghosty was never good to begin with, but let's not worry about that. Ghosty was never good to begin with. But
we'll have to see. I think Ghostface and Legion, it definitely made me more hopeful. And hopefully they've seen what's happened to Destiny, seen what happens to Spirit, see their play rates go down, and say, hey, if we did this to twins, no one's going to play them. And all that money and time... Look at Legion! They've made Legion a really easy killer, like, actually quite strong.
They are quite good now. I'd say, hot take, bottom of 8 tier. Just saying.
They're definitely up there now, So, I hope they're not scared of making a killer strong, especially when they're hard to play. Like, why can't we have killers that have a high skill ceiling, but they're strong, you know? But we'll have to see. Maybe they'll...
I think that the term I'm going to use here is cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. I want to be optimistic. I really do. We'll have to see. Well, but maybe they'll see this video and take some of our ideas.
Hopefully, I know people at Behaviour are aware of what I do. A few people I know at Behaviour do. Unfortunately, they're like character artists and creative people. They're not balanced people. But you never know. Yeah,
if you share, like the video, guys.
Yeah, definitely. Plug the engagement. Absolutely. Check out Lynxi on Twitch because.
Check out why not? YT on Twitch too.
Yeah, I've actually been doing that now, so that's been pleasant. But
I've been doing YouTube now, so you're going on Twitch, we've been on YouTube.
Multi-platforming. It's better than you think.
We're content creators.
Hell, we've got a multi-platform. We've got a plug. It's kind of part of the job. But let's got something else to add. I believe that's time on the round. Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything, honestly.
I think it's been pretty comprehensive. So thanks for being here. It's been an absolute joy to have you on. It's been way too long, and it's been a long time coming.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect time, like with the Twinstone. Twins are very high on the radar at the moment because of the Twinstone, because of the upcoming rework. And I feel like if Behaviour are going to see a video like this, it will be like at this time where they're probably working internally at the moment on Twins, I would imagine.
Yeah, likely.
Well, maybe we'll see.
Well, this is one fun thing. One guy who does follow me to do with the more high-end stuff is a guy called John Wang. He follows me on. This isn't going in the video. This is something that you might be interested to know.
Oh, okay.
One of I'm mutuals with one of the back-end programmers at Behaviour, and he is saying he's working with type of stuff right now, and he's really excited to show it off. So at least it isn't done yet. There's still it's still in the oven, so to speak. I'm not sure how done it is, whether it's in the design stages or whatever, but the someone on the programming stuff is working on the type of stuff right now. So fingers crossed, it's not done yet.
And if people
listen to us.
Yeah. But I think this is good. Yeah. But yeah, thank you for watching, everybody. So if you want to check me out, Lynxi, so Lynx with an eye on the end. I like twins.
You said on t-shirt, Lynxi, a lynx with an eye on the end.
Yeah, Lynxi with an I on the end. It's not Linux. Don't call me Linux. I will drive me nuts. But thank you for having me on Pixel. It's been fun. It's been really great to just talk about it with somebody who knows twins. Most people I talk to, they're like, I don't know about twins.
It's like, there's another one.
There's one more. Like, people always have 2 twins mates. Like, that's it. There's not really many others.
Yeah, but it is fitting, only 2.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a girl, you're a guy. It's perfect.
Correct.
You know? Correct.
Accurate observation. Well,
we're both British for some reason.
Yeah, well, they do say the Brits do love an underdog.
I guess so.
But yeah. Yeah, it's been nice to joy having you on. Yeah, pleasantries, it's important. Well, yeah, thank you so much for this. I will stop recording now.